Joined by head coach Bill O'Brien for the game day preview leading up to the Ohio State game. Coach, execution-wise, was it the best game the team played at Iowa?
I think it was a great team effort. The defense really played well in the game, forcing takeaways, stopping the run. Offensively, we played at a very good tempo, at least for 3 quarters. Now, at the end of the day, we've got to finish games. We give up a kickoff return for a touchdown. We don't really finish the game on offense, so we still have to really try to play 60 minutes.
We've talked about NASCAR mode quite a bit, but what does it take to be efficient in NASCAR?
Well, it takes your quarterback really understanding the tempo and the situation of the game, and Matt's done a really nice job of that. It takes your players understanding who's in the game, what their identity is based on the substitutions and things like that. And then it just takes good execution, obviously. So, our players have done a good job with the execution of it, and we need to continue to do that.
In terms of number of plays, is there a set number in your head that you go into a week thinking, okay, this is how many plays are going to be in NASCAR, or does that fluctuate? It
really depends on how the game's going. The menu is pretty simple, pretty small, and then we just try to figure out the flow of the game. There's times when you want to go up tempo, there's times when you want to try to slow it down. So we just try to get a feel for the game early on.
Jordan Hill had a big game on Saturday. What does his play do for the defense? When he's playing well up front, what does it do for the rest of the defense?
He's just, in my opinion, one of the best defensive tackles I've ever been around. That's saying a lot because I've been around some good ones. And the reason why he's really good is obviously he has a great skill set. He's got built-in leverage. He can bend. He's tough. But really the most important part of him is that he plays so hard on every snap. He just plays every snap like it's his last snap. And I know that's a cliche, but that's the way he plays. And that's the way a lot of those guys play on defense. And it's really fun to watch.
Moving ahead to Ohio State, Braxton Miller, where does the scouting report start for a guy that has almost 1,000 yards rushing, 21 touchdowns total?
Yeah, he's a complete quarterback. He's a talented guy. He can throw the football accurately. He obviously can run. He can make plays with his feet as well as his arms. So he's a complete quarterback, and it's a huge challenge for our defense on Saturday night.
We've talked a lot about dual threat guys over the course of the year, but specifically, what do you have to do with a guy like Braxton Miller? How do you contain him?
Well, it's tough. It's hard to contain him. He's going to make plays. Number one is when they make a play, we have to play the next play and not dwell on the play that they just made. And we've got to tackle. We have to make sure that we tackle well and make them drive the football. But Braxton's going to make plays. He's a great player, and we're going to do the best we can to try to contain him.
On the defensive side of the ball, describe a little bit the types of things they like to do, and then John Simon, single him out a little bit and how effective he is.
Right. Well, they have a very good defensive coaching staff over there, led by Luke Fickell and Mike Vrabel, who I know is on that staff, and they change things up. So it's not very easy to go against them because it's a multiple look defense. And Simon and Shazier, those guys, they play very, very hard. They're athletic, they're strong, they're tough. It's a big challenge, especially for our offensive line. It's going to be a big challenge for our offensive line.
This is a defense that's given up some yards this year, almost 400 a game, but there is a lot of talent there, like you mentioned. Where does this defense compare to some of the teams you've played already this year?
Well, I think they've had some injuries in defense of them, and they've had to put guys in some positions that they haven't played a whole lot of. So that's one thing. But they have tremendous athletes, and they're playing well right now, in my opinion. I thought they played well when they had to against Purdue, and they'll come in here ready to play, I'm sure, for this game. So we're going to have to be at our best.
Night game Saturday night against Ohio State. Already have 1,000 students camping outside the stadium. You have to be excited this week.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you can't say enough about our student body, like I say before every home game. It's just, it's the best student body in the country. There are already 1,000 kids out here sleeping over to get in the game early, and we just want them to be here early, wear white, be loud, and be respectful, obviously, but make sure that Ohio State can hear them the whole game.
Do you have to keep the team grounded a little bit this week?
Well, I think they realize that it's one game in a 12-game season, and that it's a big game. It's obviously a big game, but at the end of the day, I remind them what got them to the point where they are right now, which is hard work and good practice habits and good leadership and good communication, and so we've continued to do that this week.
Keys to the game on both sides of the ball and special teams?
Well, I'd say offensively we have to stand up to the challenge up front. We've got to make sure that our receivers know it's going to be a very physical game for them. We've got to be able to run the ball and control the tempo of the game. defensively, we've got to do the best we can to contain the quarterback, because he's an excellent player. When they make a play, we have to make sure that we just let that go and play the next play and try to do the best we can to keep them out of the end zone. Special teams, they have a couple good returners, they have good schemes, so we're going to have to be at our best on special teams and pay real close attention to all the different looks that they give us on special teams.
Coach, best of luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Tony.